So we are one day away from week 3, a really exciting week in the NFL. I want to hear all about your favorite team and who you think is going to be any surprise winners this week for the NFL. There's been upsets each and every week. Trying my best to avoid those games, right? So we got to kind of concentrate on teams that are playing well right now, kind of avoid teams that are kind of been up and down, right? The first game we're going to talk about is the Denver Broncos at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 6-point spread. The Buccaneers are a little banged up, but man, the Denver Broncos just haven't really been able to get it going. And I don't expect them to get it going against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers got a big road win versus the Detroit Lions last week. If they beat the Lions and then somehow lose to the Broncos, I'm just going to quit betting on football because that's how crazy it is. I just can't see the Broncos going on the road and beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Over-under's 41. Spread's at 6 right now. I'm going pretty heavy on my survivor pool picks with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the team we're going the hardest on. I think we got a couple Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a Seahawks, we took a Raiders, and a couple Buffalo Bills. That's how we're going in survivor. The next game, Giants versus the Cleveland Browns, another over 6 points. This game is 6.5, guys. Over-under's only 38, so they're not expecting a lot of points to be scored by the Giants in this game with that 6.5-point spread. But it looks like Malik Neighbors and Daniel Jones kind of got something cooking a little bit last week. We'll see if that continues. Denzel Ward was questionable, but it looks like he's going to play from my understanding. He's going to be locking up the rookie in Malik Neighbors. It's tough for the Cleveland Browns to lose this game, but they played pretty crappy week 1. They played a lot better in week 2, right? So what do you guys think? You go with the Giants or the Cleveland Browns? I think the Browns should have enough to win this game. Myles Garrett's dealing with foot injuries in both. I just do just the NFL. I do the NFL. I do a little bit of MMA, Major League Baseball. Yeah, man, that the Browns should win this game. I just don't see how they blow it against the Giants, who've been pretty bad. Yeah, Daniel Jones is playing himself into that backup role right now, guys. He just hasn't been able to do it, man. He's not consistent. He continues to make rookie mistakes with the football, a lot of turnovers. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting game, but I think the Browns win it for sure. Yeah, I like the Jedi Jingle Maker. I'm going hard on the Bucs, man. We got 7 teams left in my survivor pool. 3 of them we're going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2 Buffalo Bills, 1 Raiders. And what was the other game that we took? Took the Raiders and the Seahawks, I believe, at home against the backup quarterback that the Dolphins are throwing out there, Skylar Thompson. I'm reading some of these. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's a good team, right? They're playing on the road. They didn't look great against a good defense against the Bears last week. So that game's going to be close, I think. That Vikings-Texans game is going to be really close. I mean, and Vegas thinks the same thing. It's a 1.5-point spread. I just think I trust C.J. Stroud more with the football than I trust Sam Darnold. When things are getting hairy, I'm sticking with C.J. Stroud, so I might put a moneyline bet on them in the morning. We'll see. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to do that. The Vikings have played back-to-back home games, no travel, right? Texans played, when did they play? Sunday Night Football, right? Or was that Monday Night Football? No, it was Sunday Night Football they played, so they're not on short rest. I like the Texans. I'll go through some of these comments, guys. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the trade deadline works this year because there's not a lot of parity in the NFL right now. A lot of teams are pretty close. So I don't expect a ton of teams to be completely out of the playoff hunt as we get towards the trade deadline, but we'll have to see who is buyers and who are sellers as the trade deadline gets closer and closer. Yeah, I like the Baker, Evans, Godwin. They have Pat Surtain on the Broncos. He's probably going to cover Mike Evans, but he hasn't been great the first couple weeks going up against number one wide receivers. I think DK Metcalf had over 100 yards last week. So, and Godwin's been playing out of his mind. Yeah, I mean, Mixon going down definitely kind of has me a little weary about betting on the Texans in this game because Joe Mixon is not only good at catching the ball out of the backfield and obviously running in and out of the tackles, but he's a really good blocker on third down. He's just a great guy to have on the field all the time, and the Texans are really going to miss him in this game versus the Vikings. Yeah, that boy clause. I agree. It's like a game I just don't want to bet on either way. I don't really see one stupid turnover can just completely change the way that game goes, right? So that Texans Vikings game, I'm probably. What's up, Marshall? How are you, dude? Yeah, I've a lot of people have said that I look like Messi. I've had people come up to me in the mall out here in LA and be like, "You look so much like Messi. Can I get a picture for my friends?" But I don't really see it. But he's in a little bit better shape than I am. The Texans, no Joe Mixon, man. Joe Mixon is out. I mean, the Seahawks should win that game. The Dolphins are playing a backup quarterback, Skylar Thompson. But, guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button for the live stream. It helps it get it out to more people. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, man. I'm closing in on 9,000 subscribers, man. So we're getting there. We're getting there. What's up, Wahoo Music? I'm doing great, man. I'm ready for some football tomorrow. Hopefully my birds don't get too embarrassed. I mean, the Raiders are a pretty decent team. They're not great, but they got a decent D-line. And Gardner Minshew's been playing pretty good with Brock Bowers, a rookie tight end, and Devontae Adams had a big game last week. The Panthers are still really bad. That defense is going to give up some points. I think the Raiders are going to be able to establish the run against the Panthers, kind of use play action off that run. I think they still win the game. Thanks, Redneck. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel, man. Well, yeah, Tua's on IR now. He's probably getting a lot more tests. I can relate with Tua a little bit. I went through my own, concussion symptoms from playing football, and I ended up being diagnosed with focal seizure disorder where, the scar tissue on my brain, started, screwing up the electromagnetic activity in my brain. I started having seizures because of it. Al Walton, what's up, dude? Al's a member of our channel. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, I've been doing a lot of research on the Chargers and the Steelers, right? So, all right, a lot of you guys are asking Chargers, Steelers. So, the Steelers, look at the offensive line, guys. There are a lot of injuries on the offensive line. Fontanu, the rookie, he's out. Isaac Seumalo, he is still out as well. So that definitely concerns me from a betting perspective, right? I was leaning towards the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier in the week, but these injuries are super concerning to me. And Jim Harbaugh and that defense, they have a pretty good defensive line, guys. Yeah, and it looks like Fontana's injury is pretty serious, so he's not going to be coming back anytime soon. So Isaac Seumalo, he is out. Fontana, they put on IR. So Spencer Anderson and Broderick Jones are getting the start on the offensive line. So, man, I like that they're at home, and I think their offense is a little better. I love George Pickens. I think he's a dog. He's an absolute baller. But the injuries to the offensive line definitely concerns me, especially for a team that wants to establish the run and use play action off the run, right? I'm definitely, the Chargers in a teaser situation. If the Steelers win, it's going to be like a field goal type of situation. So getting the Chargers and a 6-10 point teaser is where to go. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and obviously, I'm loving Bobby Boucher. Yeah, the Texans are banged up right now, man. So on the road, banged up. It's definitely not a spot I really want to be betting. I'm going to watch the game because I think I love CJ Stroud, but betting it kind of makes me scared, man. I mean, the first 2 weeks, the amount of guys that are on IR and injured in the first couple weeks, yeah, Happy Gilmore, too, is being shot in Jersey right now, man. I actually live in LA, and before COVID, I was in the movie business for a while. But yeah, I can't bet on that Vikings Texans game, guys. I just can't do it. I can't do it. The line is super close. There's no real edge either way. Yeah, Herbert's been banged up. He had to get another x-ray on his leg a little bit. So, yeah, it's definitely too early, Brock, to say he's a bust, but he has not looked good at all whatsoever. He's played pretty horrible, and you saw the look on DJ Moore's face last week. He was about up to here with Caleb Williams sucking a whole lot of butt cheeks. He was super terrible, man. He hasn't looked good yet. He played like half a good game in the preseason against the Bums, but he hasn't looked good at all. Oh, that's hilarious, Monka, dude. That was real clever, man. How long did it take you to think of that one? Yeah, I mean, the Dallas running back situation it was concerning earlier in the year, right? I was like, their running back room is trash. They need another wide receiver, too, in my opinion. And the offensive line hasn't been great for the Cowboys either. A lot of youth on that offensive line. They haven't played a lot of football, man. So Caleb just doesn't like to throw in structure and on time, right? Like you saw that at USC a lot. Like he does most of his damage when the plays break down outside of the pocket. But in the NFL, the windows are a lot smaller, man. So yeah, Tyson Bagent, man, he looked good in the preseason too. I watched a lot of Bears football in the preseason, and Tyson Bagent, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an opportunity to start somewhere down the line in his career. Yeah, I mean, the Heisman Trophy is just like a glamour award, in my opinion. It's like, who's the flavor of the week? I don't really think that necessarily translates to success in the NFL. The Pacheco injury sucks for the Chiefs, man. Yeah, Pacheco is one of my favorite players in the NFL. He runs so hard. He abuses defensive players, man. He is so talented, and it's going to be a huge loss for the Chiefs, man. It really is. Yeah, Tyson Bagent. Yeah, I mean, I would like to. I mean, if Caleb Williams keeps stinking, man, Bagent might get to play a little bit. I mean, Deshaun Watson, it's hard to call him a bust because he did play pretty well for the Texans at one point in his career. And he has had, glimmers of looking okay at the quarterback position. He was like 4 or 5-1 last year before he got hurt. So he's able to win football games, man. So I don't know. I got to see a little more. If I'm the Browns, if he isn't successful this year, then you got to really think about bringing someone else to compete for that quarterback room. Yeah, Watson's always hurt, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, he's just a creep in general, Deshaun Watson. So it's hard to like want to see him do well, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, Watson definitely has one of the worst contracts in the NFL for sure, especially because it's all guaranteed money, man. Guaranteed money, dude, for a lot of these quarterbacks are overpaid. Tua is overpaid. Trevor Lawrence is overpaid. There's like two quarterbacks, maybe three, that deserve those big-time paychecks, man. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I don't know. Jalen Hurts is overpaid as well, too. I'm not sure, Dak Prescott is ridiculously overpaid. Paying him $60 million a year is an absolute joke. It's a joke. And you could tell, look at their team. Minus CeeDee Lamb, they have no wide receivers. They have no running backs. They have, a pretty mediocre offensive line, right? You're just paying this dude all this money, and now they got to pay Micah Parsons all this money too? Yeah, the Giants look like they're going to tank either way, but, I don't watch a lot of college football till the end of the year. Is there a quarterback in college football that's worth the number one pick right now that is like a slam dunk home run type of quarterback? I don't know. Rico, I think it's going to be Fields, man. If he keeps winning, you can't put Russell Wilson back in the game. You can't do it. Like, Fields is 2-0. You know, he's not turning the football over, really. He's playing okay. Him and George Pickens are starting to, like, have a little thing going on. 100%. I think guys like playing for Jameis Winston, too, because, like, he's a dog. He's a little reckless with the football, but he's got good energy, right? And, like, when you're on the field playing with a guy with high energy, it makes you want to go out there and, like, ball out, right? So, Jameis Winston, he's interesting. Like, look how well they played last year with Joe Flacco, right? So, I mean, is Deshaun Watson just that bad? They don't have bad receivers. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore. They got Jerry Jeudy now, too, right? So, like, the receivers aren't bad. I know, the Browns letting Baker Mayfield walk was, like, probably going to go down as one of the stupidest moves in football. Well, so they put him on the PUP list, so he can't come back until week 5. He's got to miss 4 games. So the earliest Nick Chubb can return is week 5. So we'll see. He had a big-time injury, you know what I mean? They don't want to rush him back. They're probably going to see what their record looks like going into week 5 and then kind of reassess the situation going forward. I don't know about top 5 for Baker Mayfield because there's already 3 right off the top that, you know, you got to, you know, like Dak Prescott, you know, I don't love Dak Prescott, but he's been really, really good quarterback in the regular season. And then Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, they're all, like, right up in that, you know. But the next, like, 10 guys are all kind of close, you know what I mean? So, Laugh Loot, who are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Nick Chubb, right? Yeah, I mean, we have to see. Some of these guys kind of, like, can come back from these knee and Achilles injuries, and some guys are never the same. So, and he's young-ish, so, I mean, we got to see. You're going to see it right away. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Presswood is totally right. Like, it was a serious, gross injury, right? So we got to see. I mean, it's hard to tell now. You know what I mean? You got to see him. He's young-ish, so maybe he can come back, but I don't know, man. Yeah, I agree. Stroud is in there, too. So that's already, like, 4 guys that are better that I would rather have, you know? So, I don't know. But Baker, like, is really good at, like, getting guys wanting to play for him. Like, those, like, you see Mike Evans, you know what I mean? Like, he would, like, take a bullet for Baker, man. He's always got his back, so. That Green Bay game is tough, too. The Titans just, I can't trust the Titans when the game's on the line, and I think it's going to be a close game. Can you trust Will Levis? And him and Brian Callahan have been going at it. Yeah, man. Al Walton's 100% right. Chubb is a freak of nature. His lower half is super strong. So hopefully he can come back because, man, he was balling out for a while. Yeah, man. The Saints, they got that new offensive coordinator. He's really got that team humming. And the Eagles' defense is like Swiss cheese, bro. So they should ball out again. I think if you're going daily fantasy, no, I don't think CeeDee Lamb's overrated at all. He's super good. But it's hard to be super good when you're getting double and triple teamed on every single play. Because their next best wide receiver is Brandon Cooks. And he's just, you know, on the lower half of, like, number 2 wide receivers in the NFL, right? So, like, and Ferguson, the tight end for the Cowboys, is hurt. So, I mean, he's, like, the only guy catching the ball, right? Yeah, there's no chance the Giants win 8 games. No chance. But Malik Willis played pretty good last week. It's all going to come down to, can Will Levis convert third downs? And does that defense get tired towards the second half? Because if you watch that Eagles-Packers game, Josh Jacobs was complete cheeks in the first half, right? He was averaging like less than 2 yards a carry, but in the second half, the Eagles got gassed because they kept having a lot of 3-and-outs. They got gassed. And boy, did Josh Jacobs and that offensive line take over the game in the second half. He averaged like I don't know, 10 yards a carry in the second half. I mean, Al's 100% right. Aaron Donald was the best defensive player we've seen in probably 20 years. I mean, he was double and triple teamed on every single play and still wreaked havoc on defenses, man. Like, Aaron Donald, he's the best player. Him and Ray Lewis are like the two top defensive players. Him, Ray Lewis, Aaron Donald, Brian Dawkins were the best defensive players I ever seen in my life. That completely just changed games. Yeah, Reggie White I was young when Reggie White was like going crazy. I was like under 10 years old when he was like absolute beast mode. Honestly, Piano, I don't know. The NFL there's not a lot of parity in the NFL. Like, there's not a huge difference between the best team and the middle teams right now. No team I can say has completely separated themselves from the pack right now. And that's why I love the NFL, because on any given Sunday, especially this year in particular, I mean, how about the Raiders beating the Ravens? The Ravens could easily go to 0-3, and so can the Bengals, and they're good football teams, man. So it's like, if you don't come to play on Sunday, you're going to get your ass handed to you, man. You're going to get punched in the mouth and lose. Well, Prescott's going against a pretty good defense in the Ravens, right? And Baker Mayfield's going up against the Broncos, who are trash. And they've been playing terrible. What up, Nico? So, I mean, I like Baker Mayfield in that. You know what I mean? Bo Nix, I think, is going to be a lot of 3-and-outs. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. was MIA week 1, and then week 2, the dude balled out. So, but you got to remember, the Rams were like playing the F squad. So you got to take that successful game you had in week 2 with a grain of salt. Yeah, Redneck goes, I agree too. All right, parlay tips for Angel. Let me see. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to my sports book and I'm going to let you guys know what bets I got for tomorrow. Giving out some of my parlays. Yo, Anthony Richardson turns the ball over a lot, man. So, I don't know. Anthony Richardson's hit or miss, and like from what I've been like reading from really savvy QB analysts, that he misses a lot of easy throws. I don't know. I got a nice 4-team parlay. I got the Bengals, Bills, Raiders, Browns. That's one of my parlays. I got a Saints-Bengals parlay. That's paying a little bit over even money. I got a teaser with the Chargers, Buccaneers, Chiefs, and Bills. Chargers getting 15.5. Buccaneers getting 7. Chiefs getting 10. And Bills getting 7.5. That's one of my favorite teasers, guys. That teaser is super legit. I got another 2-team parlay, Seahawks and Bills. I like the home teams this week. I got another parlay. I won the Jets already, and I got the Buccaneers. They need to win the cash. I got a $10 money line bet on the Packers at plus 120. I got a 3-team parlay, Buccaneers, 49ers, Bills. I'm going hard on the Buccaneers and Bills this week. Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt me. Baseball question. Oh, I love some baseball questions. I don't know, man. I mean, can the Indians, who are they going to play in the first round? Do you have any idea? I haven't looked at the American League stuff yet. No, I don't think so. I think they're too heavily invested in Kyler Murray, Presswood. I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon, especially because they're kind of in a transition period. They got a young offensive line, a young defense. I don't know. I mean, the Jaguars have looked so bad the first 2 weeks. They haven't scored over 20 points once, and the Buffalo Bills have scored over 30 twice. So that Ravens-Cowboys game, I'm not touching that at all. Angel, you got to remember, the Cowboys won 16 home games in a row until last week's loss by the Saints. They obviously lost that playoff game to the Packers, but 16 regular season games in a row the Cowboys won. So, I don't know, man. I'm not betting on that game. Yeah, Puka Nacua has been dealing with injuries all preseason, and that one game in, I don't expect to see him till week 6 or 8, in my opinion. Puka Nacua. They play the second round winner of Houston. So are the Indians going to be the number 1 seed? I got to pull up. I'm a diehard Phillies fan, so I don't really follow the American League too much until the playoffs start cooking. Well, right now, if the season ended today, they wouldn't get the bye, right? Only one team gets a bye now with the new rules, right? All right, let me go through some of these comments, guys. Hey, Happy, go hit the road, bro. No one's going to miss you. Peace. Yeah, if you're the 2 seed, you got to play in the first round. Because now with the wild cards, only the 1 seed gets a bye. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the Jaguars traded away Calvin Ridley, who's so good, and Gabe Davis is just not good. He's just not good at football. Like, if you look, like, what Gabe Davis has done in the first 2 games. You want to, like, have a nice laugh? They got rid of Calvin Ridley. Let's see how Gabe Davis, who they paid all that money to, he got, last week, 3 catches, 43 yards. Let's go to week 1 and see what he did against the Dolphins. Gabe Davis, 3 catches, 62 yards. He hasn't had over 3 catches in a game all year long. Come on. Yeah, Gabe Davis is not good. He's just not. They paid him all that money. Calvin Ridley looks 10 times the player that Gabe Davis is, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't want to touch that Cowboys-Ravens game from a betting perspective at all. Because I don't know what Cowboys are going to show up. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is super overpaid, in my opinion. Week 1 against the Dolphins, 12 for 21 for 162 yards. Against the Browns last week, 14 for 30, under 50% of his passes, 220 yards. You're getting paid $40 million to complete 48% of your passes? I don't get it. I just don't get it. No, I don't think the Super Bowl is rigged, man. I just think Patrick Mahomes is super good at football. Yeah, these games are the first 2 weeks have been crazy. So, in the survivor pool that I'm in, there was 600 people in it. Now there's only 200 left after 2 weeks. That's how bad it's been. A lot of upsets, man. No, man. I mean, people... I don't know. I played football my whole life. There's so many variables that go on to make a game rigged. Could a ref flub a call or not make a call? Possibly. But to say the game's rigged, it's just impossible, man. You got 22 guys on the field, a bunch of maniacs running around. To rig a game is just... It's not like basketball. Basketball is so much easier. I don't know anything about hockey, man. I'm not the guy. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt, man. I don't know shit about hockey. Yeah, quarterbacks, it's been a struggle for quarterbacks this year, man. Maybe Derek Carr, because the Eagles' defense is Swiss cheese, man. So, I always if you want a guy to throw over 300 yards, you want to look at a team that's going to be maybe an underdog in the highest over-under games. Lions, Cardinals games over 50 points. That's the only game of the week that I see over 50 points. Texans, Vikings is at 46. So you really want to be involved in a game with a high total. Ravens, Cowboys is at 47.5. Prescott can maybe throw for 300 yards. That Ravens secondary has not been good. No worries, dude. I mean, the Cowboys, you can't draft, like, paying up early in the draft for a running back. There were so many good running backs drafted in the third and fourth round this year. To allocate that kind of draft capital in the first 2 rounds for a running back doesn't make sense to me. I think that you got to go offensive line, right? And see who shakes out. Cooper Beebe looks like the real deal at the center position for them. You know, you got to see what kind of shakes out. I think a number 2, like a bona fide number 2 wide receiver, I would grab that before I draft the running back in the first 2 rounds. I'm not following college football quite yet. The first few weeks of college football, these big programs are always playing these little crappy schools, and you can't really figure out who's good yet until like the middle of the season when teams actually start to play teams in their conference and like good teams. So it's a little too early to say for me for college football. I mean, 4-peat's crazy, man. No one's even done 3 before. So to do 3, and like the Chiefs, I mean, they got hot at the right time last year, but like during the regular season, they didn't play good, man. Yeah, next week, Georgia, Alabama, like that'll be fun to watch. Yeah, college football is crazy, man. I don't know how people bet on college football. It's so nuts. Yeah, I don't know when Christian McCaffrey's going to be back. He can't come back to week 5 either, being on the PUP list, so. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't yet, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm getting closer and closer to 9,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the show, man. I like a Buccaneers-Bills parlay. What other parlays I like? It's tough betting this week, man. I think the Saints beat the Eagles, too. The Browns are in the mix, too, and for parlays. Browns, Buccaneers might be interesting. Bengals. You can go, like, let's see, like, Bengals, Saints, Bengals, Browns. The Giants and the Commanders aren't very good, you know, so we want to target them. Thanks, dude. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the subs, guys. It means a lot to me, man. We're trying to get closer and closer to 9K. And if you're interested, I have memberships where every Friday I give out all my survivor picks, all my bets to my members. I do daily fantasy for my members. I'm trying to pump out as much stuff for my members each and every week, $4.99 a month. Pablo, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you tuning in, bro. Yeah, I love talking ball with you guys, man. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm hoping these upsets don't keep happening. I'm getting destroyed on some of my bets. The Colts killed me last week. Anthony Richardson throwing those 3 picks. Goodness gracious. Yeah, the Colts and the Ravens, man. I would have been great with all my survivor picks if the Ravens would have they blew a 10-point lead in the 4th quarter to the Raiders. That's why another reason I like the Raiders carrying that momentum into this week, going up against Andy Dalton, who hasn't played football in a long time. Yeah, I agree. They're not asking Jaden Daniels to do a lot. They're not. He hasn't really thrown the ball over 10 or 12 yards at all, really, yet. So they're kind of dinking and dunking him. He's running the ball a lot with his legs, passing it to the running backs a lot. Them and the Bengals, Ravens and the Bengals, bro, need a win. Throw the Cowboys in there, too. They don't want to go to 1-2. You know, you're looking at these teams, and what is it, like the AFC South? No, what is it? The AFC South, like every team is like 0-2 except one team. Where's that at? Rams are 0-2. The Rams really need a win, too, if they want to go to the playoffs. Yeah, the AFC South, the Colts, Titans, and Jaguars, all 0-2, man. Dang, how old's your son, Al? He's playing on Sundays? I thought most kids played on, like when I was growing up, I always played on Saturday mornings. I never played on Sundays. Dude, the Eagles defense is trash. 13. That's crazy that he's playing on Sundays. That's weird. Is he playing middle school football or just Pop Warner? Oh, man, LA, it's great. It's like 60 degrees outside right now, man. It's great. It's like 70 during the day, high 50s, low 60s at night. The weather is great. Nice. Yeah, that's weird. I never heard of Pop Warner playing on Sundays. I grew up in Pennsylvania. We always played on Saturdays. You like it, man? Yo, on Amazon, Waterboy jerseys, bro. All the numbers and stuff are like patches or like sewn on, dude. They're like nice. $16, guys. $16. Appreciate you subscribing to the channel, man. Thanks for tuning in. Really, your game, like when I played middle school football, our games were during the week on Fridays. I was a running back, and I played a lot of safety, too. Yeah, I think the Saints are going to light up the Birds, man. Light them up. They're going to get lit up. Like a Christmas tree. Yeah, that defense sucks, man. He said the middle school's playing on the weekends? That's so weird. That Bears game is going to be close, man. I'm not touching that game. So, the Colts are terrible against the run, right? Terrible against the run. So, if the Bears can establish the run and use play action for Caleb to open up things down the field, they can win that game. And who knows what Anthony Richardson's going to show up, right? Is it going to be 3 interception Anthony Richardson who can't even throw the ball into the flat? Or is it him dropping 80-yard passes down the field like in a bucket? He makes no sense to me. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little older than that. I graduated high school in 2004. So back in the day, like, our games were mixed. Like, yeah, like, the varsity teams, like, played on Fridays for sure. But in middle school, we played all throughout the week, all different days. Under the lights, though, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Yeah, the Bears' defense is really, really talented, man. So that, like, makes me like, I like the Bears in this spot. Yeah, for varsity games, I'm talking about middle school games. One of the members to my channel was saying his son plays on Sundays, and then the other kid was saying he's in middle school now and he plays on the weekends. That doesn't make any sense. Bobby Boucher. But yeah, man, this is going to be an exciting week, guys. Exciting week. I got some nice bets. I got a Buccaneers, 49ers, Bills parlay. What else? I got another dollar parlay, underdog parlay. I got the Vikings, Packers, Commanders, Falcons, and the Saints. The Saints are my only favorite in that $1 to win $85. I like the Buccaneers, man. I don't know how Bo Nix goes on the road. It's supposed to be 90 degrees at game time. I checked 89 degrees in Tampa Bay. So the Broncos just lost their starting right tackle on an offensive line that wasn't very good at all. Vic Fangio, Pablo, is the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. I don't know. It all depends what Deshaun Watson what time does he what Deshaun Watson do we get? I mean, he doesn't look great this year, and the Giants, the reason they lost to the Commanders is because their kicker got hurt or whatever, and they couldn't even kick field goals. They had the punter kicking field goals, and it looked like he never kicked a ball in his life. Wow, Al, that's awesome, dude. Congrats, man. That's super cool. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. He's got them hops, though. He's got to be up getting those 50-50 balls, bro. Catching them up. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I got the Saints in 2.5 on a bet. I got a $10 teaser with the Saints getting 10.5, Colts getting 12, Pittsburgh getting 12, Green Bay getting 16, and the Bucks getting 6.5. That's my favorite bet of the week. Yeah, preseason's a different world, man. There's no scheming up. It's all vanilla defenses. There's no twists. There's no, not disguising any coverages with the linebackers and the blitzers. They don't do any of that crap in preseason. They're not giving away the playbook in the preseason. I don't know, Pablo. I don't know. That defense looked so bad last week. It looked embarrassing bad. So I don't know who shows up. I don't know. Yeah, on a teaser. I did one of those plus 13 sweetheart teasers. So I did a plus 13 5-team teaser, and you get even money. So $10 bet to win $10. Saints getting 10.5. Colts getting 12.5. Oh, Colts getting 12. My bad. Steelers getting 12. Packers getting 16, and the Bucks getting 6.5. Yeah, I agree, Al. I like the Seahawks this week at home, especially. Fadil, what makes you think that the Titans are going to beat the Packers? I just want to know. I'm just curious. Like, I've watched the Titans play both of their games. I watched twice, and Will Levis looks horrible. Him and Brian Callahan want to murder each other already. Like, I just don't. How? Maybe they win. Maybe they run the ball with Tony Pollard down the Packers' throat. That could very well happen. If they can do that, establish the run with Tony Pollard, the Packers aren't very good against the run, right? But if I'm the Packers, bro, I'm stacking the box. The Titans have good wide receivers, but Will Levis hasn't played well yet. I mean, yeah, D-Hop hasn't been a factor at all in the first 2 weeks. Not even a little bit. They need to get him more involved. I love Brian Callahan, dude. Brian Callahan's one of my favorite. I love his grit. I love his tenacity. I love him calling out guys. I love it. I love Brian Callahan. Yeah, Tony Pollard needs to come out and ball out. That's the only way they win. Is if Tony Pollard has like an 85 to 100-yard game and they just run the ball effectively down the Packers' throat. They're not the best against the run. That's how you beat the Packers. Yeah, Hopkins, I don't think he's 100% healthy yet. Yeah, I don't think Hopkins is 100% healthy. Yeah, but he does. Every game, he does something stupid. Every game, Will Levis does something super dumb, and it hurts them. Every game. And it's not like they played great teams. I mean, they played the Jets and the Bears. It looks like Jefferson's going to play. He said he was going to play. Yeah, what's that about him putting mayonnaise in his coffee or something like that I was reading or whatever the hell he was talking about? That's so weird. Yeah, and the Titans blew us. They had, a 17-3 halftime lead over the Bears and still lost? The Titans' defense looks pretty good. But, yikes. Yeah, he doesn't look good so far. The Packers' defense, they have flashes. They got to be a little bit better against the run. Yeah, I don't know what Will. He's just trying to do too much. He's just pressing. Yeah, I mean, that's another, like, with the Jags, like, how? The Bills have scored 30 points in their first 2 games, and the Jaguars haven't even scored over 18. How? How? Are they going to just all of a sudden start to be able to block up front? What guy on their offensive line, the Jaguars, can block Ed Oliver? Don't worry, I'll wait. That's not how the NFL works, man. You don't just get due. The Jaguars aren't good. I get it, but I mean, you're right. Any given Sunday, 100%. But like, I want to try to make educated guesses on who's going to win and who's going to lose. And if you just break down the rosters, like, I like the Buccaneers personally. I don't think you can really go wrong in any of those spots because the Giants and Commanders are both very weak teams. Good night, bro. Yeah, I mean, I just watch the tape. I don't even look at the lines. I just watch the tape on the two teams and try to make my best opinions. I watch every game twice every week. So I try to just look at the tape and see who's hurt, who's playing, who's not playing, and then go from there. Yeah, Doug Peterson, they just look bad. The offense looks flat. Trevor Lawrence is running around with the chicken with his head cut off. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, the offensive line's not very good. And the Bills' D-line is pretty good. You know what I mean? Let me go to PFF and look at the grades for the Bills' defense right now. I mean, they haven't been great. I mean, they gave up some points in week 1, I know. They looked a little better in week 2 with the defense. I want to just check out the roster real quick. Yeah, I mean, the defense is playing pretty good. What's his name? Greg Rousseau is playing really good. He had an 87 PFF grade last year, #1 pick. He's really good. Ed Oliver is a beast, man. It's like their D-line's pretty good. And they also got Daquan Jones, who's a big boy, 6'4", 320. Espinosa, he's really good too. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see how... I don't know. I just don't see how the Jaguars just flip a switch, go on the road to Buffalo, and win a tough game. I just don't see how that happens. I mean, yeah, the Jaguars' secondary is trash, dude. Their cornerbacks, Ronald Darby and Monteric Brown, come on, dude. And their safeties... They're 2 grades so far through 2 games for the safeties. 42 and 31. Their safeties are horrible. So their linebackers are very good, but their D-line sucks. Besides Hines Allen, he's the only one that's really good. The rest of the guys have 50 grades, and their safeties have a 40 and a 30 grade. They've been horrible. I'm not getting into politics on this channel, man. If you want to talk football, talk ball with me, let's do it. But I'm not getting into politics. Yeah, I like the Bills in this spot, man. I just go from what I see and the tape that I see. I just don't like what the Jaguars are putting on tape. The offensive line, the right side, 49 grade, 42 grade, left guard, 59 grade, left tackle, 62 grade. I don't know. I just don't see it. Bobby Boucher! All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I'll do another live stream after all the games. We'll kick it, talk some ball. Hopefully there's not a bunch of crazy upsets. Hopefully we can win some money tomorrow. Thanks for tuning into the live stream. Don't forget to subscribe. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on